Welcome to BW Businessworld. Today we are at the BW Education Future of Management Education Conclave. And right now I have with me Dr. Asit K Barma, who is the Director of Bharatiya Institute of Management. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Barma. My first question to you is, right now students coming out of these schools are going to be joining companies that almost all of them work on a global platform. How are we preparing students to work with global players?
Well, first of all, we should understand what is a global platform. So what we understand by the term globalization, usually it means that people from India or workforce from India, executives from India, they are going outside of India, US, Europe, and working there. But we see that there is a trend of deglobalization, more so after this China Plus incident, after that Brexit, and then the Russian war. So now, more than the globalization, people are talking more about their own nationality, being with what do you call it, deglobalization. So I see that there is a hybrid of globalization and deglobalization. So as we have a lot of best practices to take from the West, similarly, we also have a lot of other intrinsic value system that is on demand today. Okay. So this value system, the corporates are also realizing that, even the industry is also realizing in terms of, say, they call it social enterprise. So enterprises are not just for making money, but also to look at things like sustainability, triple bottom line, and all that. And we are also talking about, like in Japan, a lot of experiments are happening on, say, Society 5.0. So that is a cyber space, physical space, machine, man-machine, and how human being can be more human. Okay, so that is one aspect. The other aspect is that how, apart from being more human, they can be more focused to sustainability. Like when you talk about G20, they are all talking about sustainability. Tomorrow's living will be on sustainable living. So we see that the globalization today, it does not necessarily mean that cultural integration. It more means that the sustainability, sustainable life, that how globally we can contribute to, say, global ecological challenges, global peace, so on and so forth. Okay, so towards that, how B schools are preparing is that we have our curriculum, like I can talk about what we practice at BIM. So we have curriculum on sustainability, appreciation of sustainable development goals. Okay, we also use an app. So that is where we see that how each one of us is contributing to SDG goal. Okay, so it could be as simple as switching off the light on a daily basis. It could be as simple as that. So globalization today, it means the global challenges and how we all can contribute to mitigate those global challenges that we are confronting today. So sustainability is one aspect. Secondly is that when it comes to cultural and social integration, we already have different exchange programs. Like we have partnered with Rennie School of Business France, that is Triple Crown B schools. So we have the student exchange program. So we know their practices. With US, again, we have cooperation with number of B schools. We are working on different accreditation like ACSB, AMBA, and we are working towards that. So all that help us to adopt some global template into our own curriculum, own program, and students also get trained on that. Okay, so these are things that interventions that we can think of, we can talk about, and in terms of globalization.
Absolutely. There's also a lot of online courses, degree programs now available in the market. Can you tell me how are B schools retaining their value? How are they retaining their position as the management education institute?
Yeah. See, now what there is a saying that you learn more sitting in the garden outside the library than sitting inside the library. Okay. So similarly, in an MBA school, you learn more outside of the classroom than inside the classroom. In MBA school and in a face-to-face, in a contact delivery mode, you develop some skills that cannot be filled in by these online courses. Okay, so online courses are the complementary course. So some of the high-end technical courses where you may not have the faculty or faculty may not have that skill, and so you can use those online courses to complement your usual courses inside the classroom. But definitely MOOC courses, and it could be a short-term course for some particular topic, like you want to hone your skill, like on blockchain or on fintech, so you can do some certification. But it is again that to have a complete personality of that MBA personality, the complete person, and a management graduate to get that. So it is a complete upbringing. So that does not come through the MOOC courses, through these online courses. So for that, you need to be in the classroom, you need to interact with your peer group, you need to physically interact with the faculty. There will be group exercises, group interactions, lot of emotions, lot of fights. So all that are source of learning. So remember that more learning happens outside of the library in the garden than inside the library. Okay, so those are some values. Like say from Trichy, a team of 30 members, 30 students, they are coming to say IMT Ghaziabad to take part in say Chakrabuho competition. So there is no physical learning as such. It's not part of curriculum, but this is a program through which they learn how to interact in a team and how to adjust, how to respect others, how to value others' different opinion, and empathy, team building. All that is needed. And this is what this World Economic Forum 2020 report says about the future of work. The recruiters are looking at those aspects, that empathy, team building, ability to work in a team. So these are things that you cannot get in a online mode. These are the things that you cannot even get inside the classroom, but in a MBA, in an institute setup. So that is where you interact with your peer group. You just on the playground, you play together, you have your meals together. So through these interactions, informal interactions, so you have a lot of learning, so that you cannot substitute with other modes of learning.
And one more question, because I don't want you to miss your lunch any further, but entrepreneurship and skilling is obviously a very big agenda for industry, country, jobs, these goals. Is there a way for us to sort of measure the learning outcome of these kinds of courses?
Yes, so in terms of entrepreneurship, what happens, we have standard learning outcome measures, okay, as per NBA and also as per ASASB, AMBA and all these accreditations. But what happens, those learning measurement, it happens during this MBA curriculum, okay, during the duration of the program and not beyond that. So in fact, our measurement curriculum measurement process, it should extend beyond that 2 years time frame, 2 years of MBA time frame. So it should be by tracking their career, like how many of them are getting into entrepreneurship, continuing with that, how many of them are opting out of and voluntarily opting out of placement, not just he or she could not get a good placement, so getting into entrepreneurship, not that, but coming out of the placement to start their own venture and being entrepreneur and voluntarily doing that. So this measurement will be evidence-based measurement. Like earlier, other learning outcome measurements are more of how you performed in your exams, how you answered different questions. So you measure those learning outcome. But this kind of learning outcome, that how well we groom them for entrepreneurship to start their own startup, that measurement process will be evidence-based measurement. How many are dropping out of placement and getting into entrepreneurship, or tracking their life maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line and see how many of them eventually chose to be in entrepreneurship. In fact, there are many interesting survey done. In fact, World Economic Forum has done that. They have done a lot of gender classification. What is how many men opted to be entrepreneur, how many these girls opted to be entrepreneur, or how is it distributed across different regions. So there are several studies available. So at institute level, we can do similar study, and based on that, we can find out over the years, not within the 2 years. It is difficult to measure long-term study. So, and then maybe 5 years, 10 years horizon, you can say, and then say that to what extent this institute is helping the students to be entrepreneur. May not be immediately, but over a period of 10 years. Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights
Thank
with
you.
us.